Welcome to our Deep Dive Explainer. Today, we are embarking on a truly mind-bending journey. It's a dive into the mysteries of our choices, our existence, and the literal architecture of alternate realities. We're going to unpack some incredibly profound ideas, from science to philosophy to theology, just to explore a question that has honestly haunted human beings for generations.
Just imagine this for a second. Have you ever worked incredibly hard on a project, right? And when the perfect deal is finally lined up, all the doors are open, every obstacle is gone, suddenly your heart just feels heavy. Out of nowhere, this mysterious internal voice warns you of impending disaster, telling you to stop. Don't take that path. It feels exactly as if someone knows that this deal is going to end in absolute ruin. But that raises a pretty chilling question. Who exactly is sending you that warning?
Okay, let's dive right into our roadmap for today. We'll start with warnings from another reality, move on to the science of parallel universes, explore the philosophy of identity, look into Islamic perspectives, and finally examine dreams, bridges between universes.
Section 1. Warnings from another reality, the tragic origin of a brilliant idea. So our investigation actually begins at Princeton University back in 1957. There was this 27-year-old PhD student named Hugh Everett III, and he pitched a totally bizarre idea. He suggested that our gut feelings are actually warnings from a parallel self. Now, his professors completely rejected the idea. Devastated, Everett left physics altogether, joined the CIA, fell into heavy drinking, and sadly, he died at just 51. Yet today, his once-rejected concept, it's quantum physics' most debated, most serious theory.
Section 2. The science of parallel universes, proving the impossible.
To really understand the origin of Everett's theory, we have to look at the double-slit experiment. See, when scientists fire an electron through two slits, it goes through both of them simultaneously. This is a state known as quantum superposition. Everett claimed that these different states don't just vanish. Instead, they branch out into entirely separate universes. What this means is, essentially, a version of you is walking down every single path you didn't choose.
Now, the crucial point here is that parallel universes aren't just one isolated fringe theory. They're actually a family of three major scientific approaches. First up, we have the many worlds interpretation. Stephen Hawking actually addressed this in his final paper in 2018, stating that multiple universes are a mathematical consequence, not just philosophical speculation. Second, there's the bubble universe theory. This suggests that the rapid expansion after the Big Bang stopped in some places, but continued in others, creating these separate soapsuds or bubbles, and every bubble is its own universe. And third, the mathematical universe theory, which is championed by MIT's Max Tegmark. He argues that whatever is mathematically possible literally must physically exist, complete with different laws of physics and different realities. So that's three distinct approaches, all pointing to the mathematical likelihood that another version of you is actually out there.
But, well, here is where science hits a major roadblock. Sure, science proves these worlds might exist mathematically, but the fundamental rule of science is that if you cannot observe or test something physically, you can't definitively prove it. And because we can't test parallel universes physically, science alone can't tell us who that other version of you actually is. To answer that, we've got to pass the baton over to philosophy.
Section 3. The philosophy of identity. Are they really you?
This brings us to what philosophers call the problem of personal identity. The renowned Oxford philosopher Derek Parfit tackled this directly in 1984. He argued that your physical body isn't actually what makes you, well, you. As he famously said, identity is not what matters, continuity is what matters. It's the continuous chain of your memories and your consciousness that forms your true self. So if a version of you in another universe possesses your memories right up to a specific branching point, Parfit suggests that version is still very much you.
Now this opens up a seriously dizzying new dimension. It means that every terrible haircut or, awful career move you ever made was miraculously avoided by another version of you. But conversely, every great chance you missed was enthusiastically taken by them. We really have to ask ourselves here, is it deeply reassuring to know a better version of your life exists out there, or is it fundamentally disturbing?
So, while Parfit gives us a way to think about identity, neither math nor philosophy fully answers what this means for our personal accountability. I mean, if all choices are made across an infinite spectrum of universes, do our choices here even matter? To figure this out, we need to look through a completely different lens.
Section 4. Islamic perspectives beyond the physical realm.
When we dive into Islamic perspectives on this, we find concepts that take the conversation a step further into the metaphysical. Now, you obviously won't find the exact term parallel universe in classical texts, but you do find alam ul masal.
This is an established concept describing a realm totally separate from the physical world where dreams, visions, and possibilities exist. As the classical scholar Ibn Arabi noted, God's creation is absolutely not limited to just our physical, observable world.
And this perfectly answers the dilemma that Parfit couldn't quite resolve regarding accountability. Islamic theology, specifically referencing principles in Surah Kaf, weighs your intent against your actions. It clearly states you are only responsible for what your own hands commit. So whatever an alternate you did out there, it has absolutely zero weight on your account here. You are accountable solely for this specific moment in this specific universe.
Right, so your moral accountability is strictly isolated to our current reality. But that still leaves a burning, almost eerie question. If that parallel version of you exists, and let's say they've walked a path of complete ruin, is there any possible way they could ever send a warning across the void to stop you from making the same mistake? Section 5. Dreams, Bridges Between Universes. The Metaphysical Connection. Science obviously has absolutely no answer for cross-universe communication. But humanity has been fascinated for thousands of years by one potential bridge: our dreams. History is just full of these strange occurrences. Think of Prophet Yusuf and the Pharaoh, whose vivid dream of 7 years of prosperity and 7 years of famine literally altered an empire's destiny. Or take Abraham Lincoln, who famously dreamt of his own funeral just days before his assassination. We don't view these as hard scientific proof, sure, but as profound events that raise massive questions. It is just a deeply fascinating possibility to consider. There's no hard evidence, no lab experiment to confirm it, but it is an undeniable human experience. Could it be that those inexplicable feelings of dread, those prophetic dreams, or that striking sense of déjà vu are actually desperately sent warnings? Like a signal from a parallel you who took the wrong path, faced the disastrous consequences, and is somehow reaching across the very fabric of reality to tell you, stop, don't go this way.
And that brings us full circle back to the man who started it all. Hugh Everett died feeling entirely rejected and unrecognized by the scientific community of his time. But a really poignant entry in his personal diary reveals he never truly let go of his theory. He wrote, "In another branch of the universe, I may have been proven right." He held on to this hope that in at least one universe out there, his genius was finally recognized and celebrated.
So knowing all this, from the quantum physics of superposition, to the philosophy of memory, to the boundaries of accountability, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought to consider about your own life. If a version of you in a parallel universe is out there living the exact perfect life you always wanted, what exactly is that version doing right now? And honestly, more importantly, what is stopping you from making those exact same choices in this universe today?